This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening.
Hello, hello. How you guys doing?
Good. Larlin took Lexi to a FFA dance, so she is currently not here.
Oh,
Hopefully she gets here soon because she manages all the other stuff. So.
how old is she?
Lexi is 15. She's just
Okay. So junior high school dance? I'm sorry, junior in high school dance? Or thereabouts?
technically, yeah, but it's for FFA, so it's not necessarily a school dance. It's for
Oh, Future Farmers, FFA.
yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
We're over there building the outreach piece of the kind of Engage framework going through and getting it going. So we're getting out.
Do we have anything that we can test with it?
It's in the build now, but you'd have to push it through. When Cal jumps on, you can tell. He pushed it into the build, but I think you would have to run it to update you first.
So it does outreach?
No, you can see where it says outreach and it's locked.
Oh, you can see where it's
It's locked. So I didn't mean to get
a lot different.
It.
The reason why I was asking is because we're actually going to go live in front of Comment Suite. Comment Suite is people who pay a lot of money for software that does that. So if it does that, we can get a lot of people who pay money for software.
That's super. Hey, just work with So does Hamza know someone over there? Are we bringing in someone you guys have used before? How's that work?
What are you talking about?
When we were talking this morning, you said that we can bring in somebody from your Hamza's side to work with us.
I just have Hamza to bring in the people that are working on the other projects that because he has other clients too.
Okay, that's what I was talking about. Okay.
So they fund. He's got a pretty big team, and
how many guys do they have?
Who's gonna pull him over? Huh?
How many guys do they have?
Oh, there's a lot of people on the team, man. I don't. They come and go, so I don't really pay attention to it. I let that be managed by Hamza. That's what he gets paid for. so there's way too much to be doing to be paying attention to all the pots. So you put hats on other people's heads that you can trust, and that's how we let it manage. It just requires, just like you're saying, cash flow.
Yeah.
And we can get it all done. I know it needs to be done. We just have to have the people doing it.
That's it. Now we gotta have bodies. Yeah, we were, getting someone up to speed, like we talked about before. It takes a minute, man. Get just the environment set up. So if you've got someone that guys can jump in and kind of cut that time, that would be fantastic. Get this stuff done, quicker.
It's kind of forced. It's not. We didn't have it planned, so we still have to talk with Hamza about it. I haven't had a chance to speak with him about it as of yet. I pinged him. Told him to take the day off because it's a rough month for him. What else do we got?
Yeah, I'm sure he's been killing himself too.
They have a lot more to do than just Engage. So
you gotta keep up with all your other tools and keep them Facebook active.
It's just ELMessenger Pro alone. I mean, if you look at ELMessenger Pro, how big of an application it is and what it does, it's an enormous job keeping that application alive. And that's when you guys ran into us the first time we were talking about it. Remember how we said it's a big job. It's a lot more than we thought it was going to be. And that's why you see there's application after application that's supposed to be like the next best thing since sliced bread, and it lasts about 3 weeks.
They didn't want to keep up with the changes.
They can't. It's not that they didn't want to. They can't. It's too difficult. It is ridiculous how much, man. It's so ridiculous. The systems that we have do not necessarily revolve around just those tools. We have way more. Ben saw what ELMlink, for example, would do.
ELMlink's sick.
It's a beast. Yeah,
it's a fucking savage beast. I couldn't even comprehend all of it. I was like looking at all the features, like,
wow,
what does it do? I just need like a couple of them. I don't think.
Yeah, the main features, and let the people savvy enough figure out what the rest is. They'll do it.
They'll figure it out. That shit was wild. It's a URL shortener. It's a tracker. It's a keeper of URL. I mean, this thing. Oh, gosh, damn. Is so much I can't even explain. Like, just imagine 300 different options you can do with it. Are you floating, Drew? Like, what the fuck?
It's a standing desk.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do when you're presenting is stand up.
Yeah, you can move.
And so we I didn't even really think about this. I was doing presentations for years and years and years, and I was at an event, and Winter Jones, which is Dylan Jones' twin brother, he was sitting there with us, and I was talking about how, I run out of breath and all that kind of stuff when I'm talking. He just looked at me and goes, "Stand up."
Way better,
He
huh?
just stopped me dead in my tracks. I go, "Oh, no,
It's so simple.
yeah, it was like the most simple thing you could possibly say, and it just, yeah. Okay, so I went home, and we bought these autonomous desks. We got 6 of them that all stand. There's 2 of us, and we have 6 of these things, right? Because we had, but now we
Yeah.
stand up and we do our presentations.
Yeah, that's dope. I have a problem
Yes.
with videoing. I prefer
Oh,
standing up and moving, and videographers don't like that a lot.
Oh yeah, stand up. Gotta
The,
stand up.
it's just easier for me to think while I'm moving. I can move and talk, so that would make perfect sense
All
for
right, we
someone
are
like me
letting
too.
people in the room now.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, everybody. It looks like we are currently live. Give me just a second to share my screen here, and we'll get started on our live Q&A for those of you who are joining us this evening on October 5th. It is currently 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:01 actually, Eastern Standard Time. We're a little bit tardy. Arlen is currently out of the office right now. She's taking our daughter to an FFA dance, so she's going to go dance with cowboys for the very first time in her life. So that's going to be fun. And so that's where she is currently at. She should be home shortly to be able to man some of the Q&A questions coming in, and also be able to manage those Facebook streams. Give me just a second here while I find my Zoom commands with all this wonderful stuff going on the screen. But then we're going to get into kind of sharing with everybody what we have going on, and we will go from there. For some reason, I do not. Kind of more people coming into the waiting room. Sorry, while I manage those 2 things at the same time, everybody. We're getting started here in just a moment, letting people come in with a small delay. Again, once again, I apologize for that. We will get started here just in a second. Boom, boom, boom. There goes that. All right, we got the screen share going on. As people start coming in the room, I will be letting you in, and of course, I believe you can, of course, hear me. And we'll get started as soon as all of getting everybody in. There we go. All right, Anthony's coming on in. Welcome, Anthony. Welcome, John, Callan. Good job. Welcome, Clinton. Good to see you. Everybody. If I miss your name, I do apologize for that. As you start to come in, let me know, and we'll let you in the door. So sorry once again. Larlin is not here to man the co-pilot seat, and it's like flying a jet at supersonic speed without a co-pilot, not knowing where you're going. So, anyways, it is currently October 5th, 2024. We are streaming live here for everybody. Hopefully, we'll be on Facebook here momentarily, and we're going to be going through our Q&A. We have our Reseller Unlimited plan. We actually launched on the beginning of the week here as the final quarter of 2024 took place. We have some GPT assistance. For those of you who are currently in the Reseller program, we're going to answer any questions you have about those, because I'm pretty sure that's a pretty important piece to the puzzle for some of you who are just getting started out on the reseller path, and you want to be able to support your users. After all, you do know support is the most important piece to the SaaS puzzle. Engage.ai social affiliate program. We're going to let everybody know about that, so you have an opportunity to be able to go out there and get affiliated with our brand new software and earn some income, 40% for anybody who you send to the page, and gets access to that software. There's actually a lot going on with respect to Engage.ai, so there's a lot of offers on that page right now. So in CloudKii, currently you'll have ELMessenger Pro, Engage.ai, and Reputation Stream. ELMessenger Pro is obviously the flagship product, but it is a new version because of some of the updates that Facebook has pushed out with respect to the encryption. So what's going to be happening as Facebook rolls out these new security features going into the Messenger, you will actually not be able to talk to somebody unless they're either A, a contact in your phone and you have Messenger installed there, or B, you are friends with them on Facebook. So that friend limit is actually going to have an impact on your Messenger as it continues to go forward, which isn't necessarily going to be a problem because ELMessenger Pro, as you know, has a few features that are going to help you cultivate that garden that is your personal profile. Obviously, 5,000 friends is a lot of people. And if you have an opportunity to have 5,000 of the best friends, the most engaged friends, you will have a profile that is very, very healthy and very, very active. And that's what we really want to be able to do when it comes to be able to drive traffic to our offers using methods such as the profile profiteer. And there's some things that we learned, well, I learned anyway, I should say, that have been, apparently they've been around for a long time, but I just recently learned them, that you can use with your profile to really niche down into specific groups. We're going to talk about that in the FB method for those of you who are part of that. We're not going to be sharing that here this evening. Engage.ai has a couple of updates that we're going to be pushing out, which are pretty cool. The team has shared some of the new UIs, which is really, really nice. It's a beautiful software. You're going to actually have a nice time looking at that when you are working with that. And of course, we have Reputation Stream, which is a reputation management software for those of you who are going out into the marketplace, taking those brick and mortar customers and getting those under your wings for management. And it's one of the most common ways for people to be able to survive the economic times. We've actually been meeting up with a lot of people, and they're really culling out a lot of the extra fat from their expenses because of some of the inflationary situations and some of the economic situations that we're facing. And something that's really important if you want to stay as relevant as possible is you have to be offering tools, services, and products that people actually use. So you can't be a novelty. You actually have to be something that's very important. And one of the most important pieces of an online business, of course, is the foundation, which is going to be your CRMs. Those of you who are CloudKii resellers, we have some good news for you when it comes to that. Those of you who are white label or even agency partners with High Level or any other applications out there that offer you the way of being able to provide a CRM, you are in that foundational piece. The other part of the puzzle, of course, is traffic. So if you have a way to be able to get eyeballs onto people's websites or offers online, you have something that's vitally important to their business. And it's not something that's going to go away. So when you're looking at some of the tools and resources going into the end of this quarter and looking at what some of the businesses are really doing, they're looking at ways of being able to cut out things they don't need. And CloudKii gives you all the tools that they do. So it's very important to understand what that is. So a couple of things that are really cool, the ChatGPT assistance for email support, phone support, all those wonderful things, or sorry, post an email generator and support, I should say, have all been updated a little bit more. And we'll keep modifying these in the Slight Edge. Those of you who are familiar with the Slight Edge, it's basically the simple little disciplines that compound over time, right? Small changes don't seem to make a big deal, but over the course of time, they add up to be quite a big difference. And that's really important when it comes to modifying and fine tuning any type of funnel, any type of AI, or any type of system. Everything that you're doing is taking what the expected outcome is and modifying it to get that next one. So these GPTs are going to be expanding to each of our software tools. Those of you who are resellers with CloudKii and reselling CloudKii CRM, or if you're white label partners with High Level and you are reselling software through High Level, we're going to actually create an AI for that too, so that you can provide that tier 1 support. And at the same time, more importantly, if you are outsourcing your support, which a lot of people that we run into are actually doing through systems like Extendly and whatnot, what you can do is you can share those GPTs with those people that are doing the support for you. So they not only have the basic level of knowledge about the CRM, but they also have the knowledge about the additional products and services that you're offering your clients. And that has been the disconnect for a lot of people, is the USPs are not being kind of matched when it comes to the support that's being provided. So it's a big deal. So these are going to be able to bridge that gap there. These are just some of the basic updates that I wanted to share with everybody before we get into the Q&A portion. So that's what we're going to do here. Beta phase 2 of Engage.ai, that's actually where we're at. We're live in the Chrome store. So we have an opportunity now for everybody who's getting in to learn and kind of direct where it's going to be going still. We have a few things that we learned through beta phase 1. Those things are being implemented right now, such as firewalls, commenting, and the way that it's commenting, and of course, getting the personality set up to where indicators are there for you guys so that you have an idea of what your personality is, that your API is connected, all those kinds of things. Just the basic stuff inside of the application for you to be able to have a really good user experience. But now we're going to be developing, obviously, the features a little bit more intentionally. And as that happens, we're going to be releasing those either quarter by quarter or month by month. So as we continue to go with that, if anybody has any questions about that, feel free. I do not have the Facebook situation running right now, so I don't know if anybody's anticipating the call on Facebook. But if you are here in the room, obviously, typically, you have an opportunity here to throw any questions you have in the comment section. We do have a number of people here currently participating in the Zoom room. If you do have any questions about anything CloudKii related, the new reseller program, Reseller Unlimited, the new software, strategies that we're using to deploy the software into the marketplace, or any other marketing strategies that you were curious about, systematic strategies, anything like that, feel free to drop those in. We'll grab those here and see if we get them. So, Alan, good to see you. The meeting never went live on the Facebook page. Yeah, Alan, that's because Larlin is not here to push the button, and I can't man that one and this one at the same time, unfortunately. So, that is one of those wonderful little situations that we have to roll with the punches sometimes. So, how does Engage.ai fit in with ELMessenger Pro? That is a fantastic question. Okay, so ELMessenger Pro is basically an outreach organization and engagement tool. The engagement inside of ELMessenger Pro is a typical two-step engagement where you're looking more toward the marketing aspect of it. Where Engage.ai is more of a wider net. And let me show you what I mean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my Facebook profile here and bring that right on over here just like so. And we're going to pull up both applications because I actually have them both installed because we use them both for independent reasons, right? So for ELMessenger Pro, if we take a look at the similarity, right? And I think this is where a little bit of actual confusion as we rolled this product out was everybody was thinking it was like ELMessenger Pro 2.0, but it's not. It's a completely different tool for a completely different purpose. Has some similar feel, right? So here inside of Engage within ELMessenger Pro, what we're doing here is we are actually setting up a post that, number one, responds to a keyword. So if you want to get a call to action, like for example, the call tonight, if you're interested in attending tonight's live call, comment live below for the link or whatever. What ELMessenger Pro is going to do is it's going to look for the keywords that we have predefined. Okay, and it's going to go down that list and it's going to send them a link with that information. Okay, now obviously with the new updates, you have to be friends with that person in order to do that. So we're not going to be able to do it literally with every single human being that engages with that currently, but we'll find a way to be able to get them the link. With the rest of the process, as they go through the steps with Engage, what you're going to end up seeing is you're going to end up seeing a little bit more of a wider variety of commenting features. Where Engage, what we're going to be doing is leaning more into increasing your reach by engaging with the people. So when we put a piece of information out there, some content with Engage, what it's going to do is it's going to rouse up conversation. It's going to have a personality that's defined by you to be basically the best version of what you represent yourself as on the best day of being you. We have all of those days where we probably shouldn't comment on some posts. If you take a look at now, some of the most common complaints about most of the groups that at least we're a part of is people posting political posts because it's political season. And they get a lot of engagement. So they're looking for engagement. And in these particular situations, you don't want to let your emotions take over, where you can just take Engage AI, the best version of you, and you can let that be you, represent you out in the marketplace and expand that reach and increase the amount of followers you have and increase the amount of people who are actually seeing, number one, your profile, number two, your call to action posts, right? So inviting people over to your communities, inviting people to take a look at presentations, download your PDFs, get a piece of free software. So that's the basic differences between the two. When it comes to outreach inside of Engage is going to be based off of hashtags. To give you an example of what that's going to mean, inside of ELMessenger Pro, what we're doing is we go into a specific community. So if we go into the high level community, for example, we're making connections with the members of the community. The members of the community are the platform where we have that thing in common, right? With Engage, it's a little bit different. It's the hashtag that we're all searching for, which is, if you're familiar with the presentation that we did on Monday, TweetAdder used to do that on Twitter. Okay, before we became X, and we can't really do it anymore. But TweetAdder actually would go out and find people based off the hashtags they were engaging in, and that's what Engage is going to do as well. It's going to take into consideration, number one, the tone, number two, the context, and number three, the content of the post itself. And then it's going to reply to that in kind based off the personality that you've selected. So what that's going to do is that's going to give you the opportunity of being able to connect with people, number one, who are marketing savvy because they're using hashtags in their marketing. That's not something that newbies really do. If they do it very poorly. Number two, you're also going to have the opportunity of expanding the reach with people who are actively using these particular marketing strategies. So there's a lot of benefit with the outreach piece that's coming into Engage, separate from what ELMessenger Pro does. So they are two very different applications. So within the CloudKii reseller program, if you're creating a product or you're creating an offer, You can create an offer around expanding your reach, like we did with the Facebook method, where you can include Engage.ai as a tool for them to be able to do the thing. And with the outreach and the profile profiteer, for example, with ELMessenger Pro. So you're teaching people how to use their profile to build up a specific targeted audience from different groups. Whereas you're in Engage, they're building up an audience of people who are promoting specific ideas, I guess you want to call it. So I hope that makes sense. So anybody else have any feedback on the differences between the two? I know the team from Genesis AI Solutions is here, and they're not exactly familiar with ELMessenger Pro, but they can definitely speak to Engage because they've been painstakingly building it with us. So,
absolutely. Do you want me to take? I mean, so Alan was asking if Engage.ai and ELMessenger Pro are two totally different products, and yeah, they absolutely are, Alan. We've got, like Drew was saying, that you've got ELMessenger Pro, go out there, it does things that it does. We've got Engage.ai. Like he said, I'm not super familiar with that one. But with Engage.ai, we've given you the ability to go out and choose the tone of how you want your AI to sound. Because we know they all, typically when you see an AI post on social media, you can tell it's AI. We went out with the goal of making that, it didn't sound like talking toasters. We wanted you to be able to go out and make these AI sound however, and you'll be able to change them up and give it different tones for different groups for whatever specific task you've got it going out for. Whether it's here in the Go High Level group, or if it's comment, or if you're using it for engagement on in a mean group post to generate income, you can have two completely separate personalities. Okay, so where Drew's at now, we've given you two as of right now, two different ways to build this. Where he's in right now, this is the more custom prompt builder, where you go through and pick up to 10 of the 30 words at the bottom, and then enter in, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a prompt master. You go through and just type in, I'm 52 years old, I'm a retired general contractor. I mean, just some really basic things. It doesn't have, the goal in doing this was that you didn't have to be an AI prompter. So you go through, one might have said grumpy, sarcastic, and cynical. Yeah, if you want that, Alan, you absolutely go through, pick a few deals in here and type that in, and it will go through. Now, I programmed the AI so it's not going to get you in trouble. But it's not going to go into the Facebook TOS, but yeah, absolutely. You could do that and then maybe add some humor back into it. You had George Carlin about it if you wanted to, something like that.
And I'll tell you from experience, when we first started experimenting with the personalities, we wanted to very starkly be able to see the difference between one that was kind of happy and one that was very sarcastic and cynical, like you were looking for. It definitely gets sarcastic. It like the tone is just night and day different once you start setting some of that personality. I don't know if any of you had seen one of the test posts that Larlin did. We inadvertently released the sarcastic bot on her profile.
Yeah.
It was very interesting. It wasn't rude, but if your IQ was above 105, you would have been able to figure out that it was being condescending. So it was actually good. We do have another question coming in from Anthony. Anthony saying, good evening, Drew. I am a CloudKii reseller. Should I use the API key from the partner dashboard for both Engage and ELMessenger Pro? Okay, that is a great question, and the answer is no. So let me share with you the difference between the two. Okay, the first API key that you're going to experience is going to be your API key for your CRM, for your location API inside of High Level. Okay. That is going to connect your messenger to High Level so that you can move people through opportunity stages within your messenger using ELMessenger Pro. It's actually a very powerful feature, of course, as you can tell. So what we're going to do here is you cruise up and you're going to go into the pipelines. Inside of the pipelines, this is where you're going to connect to the pipeline stage inside of High Level. So step one, you need to create your stages. We would recommend that you have cold lead, warm lead, hot lead for the start, just to start out. That way you have a real good, easy understanding of being able to move people through those processes and understanding what actually qualifies them from being a cold lead, a warm lead, and of course a hot lead. And then what will happen when you have that API key connected, you click connect to the CRM, and it's going to pull in your pipeline stages for the account that you connected it to. So for example, here we have a basic at EMP pipeline. So I can actually give you a free piece of software directly from the messenger. All you need to do is give your email address. I can click a button in the messenger and send you access to the software. That's how that works. Pretty cool, right? Next thing that we have right here is direct mail support line. Okay, so this right here is going to be a supports, because we have a lot of people for some reason like to try to get support in Messenger. It doesn't work because we can't track anything. We can't forward anything. We can't escalate anything. So we have to actually start a process there. This doesn't work like we thought it would, but we'll make it work eventually. So this is one that's inside of ours. ELMessenger Pro, these again are going to be completely different opportunity stages and different tags that are inside of the messenger that are related to that. Now, this is what you do with ELMessenger Pro. Now, when you go into Engage, here's Engage. We go over to the same spot. We're looking at Engage AI. This is going to be your AI situation. So it's update your API key here. This API key, API key here is your OpenAI API key. This is not connecting to high level. Now, when we get the features from CloudKii, which are going to bridge the gap for people going into your Facebook group, so we'll be able to collect leads from Engage. That's what we'll have connected to your CRM, so that you'll be able to put a contact from your Facebook group into your CRM with the information from the questions that they had asked. And then, of course, it'll trigger different pipelines based off of the answers that they've given you, just like CloudKii currently does. But that's going to be in Engage AI because it's pretty much the only feature in CloudKii that's worth anything now anyway. So we're gonna keep that golden little nugget, and we're gonna give it to you guys inside of Engage so that it works really cool and it's working for your groups as well. So those are the two different API keys. If you need help with that, just let us know. Anthony will be able to walk you through how to do that. If you have an OpenAI key, they're really simple. You'll get the idea. So hopefully that makes sense. Alan says I'm at least mildly interested now. Like, totally agree. You can make it as personal, right? That's kind of the point. And I don't know if you guys remember when we first started, AI started taking over the space. Everybody was asking us if we were going to build that into ELMessenger Pro. And one of the biggest problems or biggest objections that we had was the way it sounds. Like we can actually get you better results with predetermined messages than we can with really weird messages that don't make any sense. Like, you got people out here sounding like they speak like a robot, right? We don't do that. We use the same language consistently. Robots don't. They flip it around all the time trying to sound all unique and stuff. And humans don't really do that. We like, one of the most common things I use instead of yes or no, I use correct. Like, I type it all the time. It's just, I don't even think about it. It just comes out. Like, it's one of those things. So when we're creating our AIs, those are the things that we want to keep in mind, are some of our own habits, and we can actually put them right into the AI. Here's another really cool thing that the team is working on behind the scenes is the expertise, right? So that expertise for the AI is going to give that your knowledge to it, right? So essentially it's going to be an extension of you. So it's going to sound like you on your best day and have the same knowledge that you have, or at least should have. So you don't want to program it to be smarter than you, because people are going to talk to you and figure out that, hey, something's up, which is even a really cool selling point if you want to think about that. If you were reselling Engage AI, you want to make it sound like you're like super smart and get on Zoom calls and you're not as smart as it sounded on the internet. You can say, well, that's because the robot does that for me, right? And then we'll be like, oh yeah, I want that. So that's kind of the direction that is going. So Alan says, I still don't really understand Engage AI. I don't use high level. ELMessenger Pro still isn't working well. Even when you get ELMessenger Pro back up, I'll consider Engage AI. So Engage AI is completely different in the amount of stuff that it does. So ELMessenger Pro, we were basically just working around Facebook and saying, we don't care what you don't want us to do. Engage is a little bit different. Engage is going to lean into what Facebook wants. So it's not going to have as many constant situational problems as it currently has with ELMessenger Pro. With ELMessenger Pro, there's going to be some things that are taken out of it because Facebook just simply isn't allowing it. So those are some of the things that you might be experiencing with ELMessenger Pro and the way that it's currently operating. So like we said, with broadcasting, for example, campaigns, those kinds of things have to be reimagined on how they function. And the reason is because you need to be friends with the person in order for you to message with them back and forth. It just simply won't even let you do it manually, right? So that's some of the stuff that it does that it can't do anymore. And so when we're out in the marketplace and we're using it, what happens is we run into, I want to do the thing that this button does, but it doesn't do that. So that's kind of the difference between the two applications. So hope that makes sense. Oh, absolutely, Alan. That's actually going to happen very well because it's the same. We use the same tool to get eyeballs on our stuff because we don't run paid ads. We literally use the software that we build for it. So we will definitely be letting you know about ELMessenger Pro's updates as it goes in through its phase changes. And it's already gone through one of them. So I'll show you what that looks like right here. So you can actually begin to use it. It's actually something a lot of people have asked for, right? So whenever you're inside of a Facebook group like this one, you can see right here that we have a toggle to now to be able to send the message and not send the message. So before, what it would do is it would send the message and the friend request at the same time. There's two reasons for that. Number one is it has to put you in the messenger. That's the main reason, and get you in the messenger. So once you're in the messenger, we then automatically tag you, send you into high level. All of that used to work flawlessly until the encryption. So now we have to separate that message. That's what that does. And that's actually where it's at now. So this part should be working perfectly. Actually, matter of fact, let's do it right now. Let's look. Okay, so what we're gonna do is
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can I ask you a specific question about ELMessenger?
You most definitely can out.
Okay, so I ran 10 requests today with the messages, friends and messages. And 5 of the times that continue button came up. And 4 out of the 5, I had to hit the continue button in order for the program to keep running.
I got what you're
There were
saying.
also several times where it said I couldn't send the request because it looked like I didn't know the person.
Correct.
And so I clicked OK. Well, at the end of all this, all 10 requests had gone out and all 10 messages had gone out. So that's the good news. The
That's
bad
awesome.
news is if I step away from the computer for a few minutes, the way it used to be, you could set it and forget it.
Right.
It took like 45 minutes to get the 10 of them out, as if I try to step away from the computer for a few minutes. So it's not usable. We used to be able to get out like 17 and a half hour, and I would do that 3 times a day. So it's not usable in its current state.
That makes sense. Okay, so one of the things that you're running into is your ratio. Okay. If you're getting the message often where it says, if you don't know this person, don't send friend requests to people you don't know.
Yeah.
There's 2 situations taking place that's making Facebook think you're reaching out to people you don't know. Number one is when the person receives the friend request from you and the message. Okay. Now the message, I don't know what the message is yet, but that doesn't matter. If they say that they decline the friend request and Facebook gives them a little survey that says, do you know this person? If they say no, then you're going to get a lot of that. So a couple things there would be the groups that you're in, situations like that, something that you can monitor. Now, there's no real way to determine if that's the group it came from or anything like that, but that is one of the functions that Facebook has, and it's one of the ways that you get a flag, right? It's a flag. So
I never get that when somebody asks me to make a friend. I never get that.
Decline the friend request. When you decline them, it'll pop up. You'll get like a little survey that says,
All right.
now the other piece that we built into the software itself to be able to help you manage the number of people that you have a pending friend request with. Okay, this is important too.
Okay.
So right here we have incoming and outgoing. So incoming friend requests, we can decline them all, accept them all, whatever we want to do. If you're familiar with the old school tool called Friend or Foe, you can decline them all and invite them all to your group, right? We don't want to do that anymore because we can't message them, so we're not accept them all now. But outgoing, this right here, this is going to automatically if you toggle that switch, it's going to automatically cancel the friend requests that you have in your inbox within a period of time. So if you have, say, for example, if you're really heavy on outreach, you want to lower that number. So every 7 days, it's good. If you haven't accepted my friend request in the last 7 days, it just cancels it.
Where is that true? Which screen? How did you get to that screen?
So the first thing you got to do is you got to open up the back office. And so right here from the extension itself, just click on the back office.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to click on right up here at the top. There's these little people looking dudes. Okay?
Yeah.
And right here, this is how you manage your friend requests.
I'll look there. I'll try that.
So that can help you with respect to that. Now, I know that you were on a call with Hamza sharing that information, and I know that there is a task that is to, whenever that message pops up, to close the window so it doesn't get in the way.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's the tool is not going to be usable for me unless most of the time I can set up, say, 10 or 15 requests and be able to step away from the computer and have it go through.
Right.
It's just, so, if you get to that point, it's wonderful. And if not, then,
there's 3 things that are there for that. Number 1 is if they're declining your friend, because that's kind of a messaging situation.
Yeah, okay.
Here is the way to manage the ratio situation, to where the number of people who have a pending friend request coming from you versus the number of people who are accepting it. Okay. And then, of course, the third one is a programmable situation where that window pops up, and instead of you having to close the window, the software will do it.
It did it once today. It closed it once. Instead, before I hit the continue button, it went on its own. but the other 4 times it wouldn't continue until I
Right.
could continue.
Right.
So if you
There's a
fix
small issue with that. If
Okay.
we make it a programmable situation where it's closing that
Yeah,
window's a warning for you to slow down. That's what that is. So we got to be very cautious. We don't want to make it to where the software is completely, totally, you turn it on, walk away from it, because that can put a flag on your account for automation. So just be cautious when we're going to fix it, because I know it's a problem and we get a lot of tickets about it. But
all right. So you're still
that is
working on fixing that. You're still working on fixing that.
well, it's not a fix. It is a solution so you don't see it.
That's
But
fine. That's what I meant. That's
okay.
That's what I meant. You're working on a solution. You're working on a solution.
That is correct. So you don't see that pop up, but
Okay.
the behavior that's creating the pop up is important as well to understand. So just make sure you're following the first 2 methods that we shared with you. So make sure that number 1, your messaging is good. Number 2, your ratio. Make sure that the number of people who are not accepting a friend request are not in your queue to be accepted for a period of time.
I'll go in and clear that out. Thank you for your help. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you. I have to leave
Anytime.
now, unfortunately, but thank you for your help.
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. So those any other questions we have coming in? Many messages here. Engage.ai master for 2 different products. Yes, indeed. We got that one. Let's see. There's Engage.ai, no problem. All right. So it doesn't look like we have any other questions from everybody. Got some extra people hopping in the room, which is always fun. I do apologize for anybody who's on Facebook, if you're watching the recording, that we were not able to post this today. But hopefully you did get a lot of value. Maybe now you have some clarity as to how to create a position the 2 different applications on Messenger Pro and Engage.ai. And that's actually the reason why these Q&As are so important. Your questions are gold. They're absolutely invaluable. We can bury you with information, but it's always better to meet you where you're at and answer the questions you have. And more often than not, it's kind of surprising that a lot of people actually have the same type of question. They just may not be here. So thank you guys for coming out, hanging out with us, asking the questions that you do have. Everybody who's watching the replay will appreciate that as well. Yeah, we will see you latest next week, but we do have a few live calls this next week for some of you and some of the different programs that we're in. So any questions, comments, or concerns about that, feel free to reach out to our support team. We'll be happy to help. Have a great weekend.